Hello, New York Giants fans, and welcome to the Valentine's Views podcast here on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Let's talk a little bit about Monday's New York Giants practice, which was the first padded practice for the Giants of their 2024 training camp. And I want to start with this. Thank you, Darius Slayton, for missing me today on the sideline. That would not have been good had you and I had a little collision. I'm sure it would have been a lot worse for me than for you. But little story today. Reporters are about 8 to 10 yards off the sideline, maybe 10 yards off by the warning track on the side field today. And Darius Slayton very nearly ran over my 63-year-old body today on a beautiful out, 15 to 20 yard out from Daniel Jones, lofted perfectly over Cordale Flott, and just inside the boundary. Slayton came flying across the sideline, running directly at yours truly. And 63 years old or not, I still had the quickness to get out of the way. It was a narrow miss for yours truly, but more importantly, great throw on that particular play from Daniel Jones, just over Cordale Flott, just inside the boundary, hit Slayton perfectly in stride. That's a ball that couldn't have been thrown any better. But it's not the first time that someone's come close to me on the sideline during a training camp practice, but still a good test for the old reflexes, and so far so good for me. Let's talk a little bit about the first padded practice. Unfortunately for us, the thing I was looking forward to the most in today's practice was the one-on-one drills between the offensive line, the defensive line, offensive tackles, edge rushers, tight ends, edge rushers, those kinds of things. And Brian Daboll told us at the beginning of practice that the Giants were going to do that, and they did. Unfortunately, they did it on one of the far fields away from where the media was stationed, so we couldn't see a thing. We couldn't see any of the one-on-ones, which are always highly entertaining, something that we like to write about, we like to post about, we like to let you guys know about. And unfortunately couldn't really do that because it was too far away for us to really see anything. So unfortunately, really nothing to say about those one-on-ones, which are always entertaining to see the pass rushers go up against the offensive linemen. No, but we did see some padded work today. We saw much more running game than we've seen in past practices. A lot of stuff between the tackles, and of course that's what you get. It's the kind of thing that you can't practice really fully without the pads on. So of course the Giants were going to do more running game, and I'm sure that they'll do that again tomorrow when they have padded practice again on Tuesday at the Quest Diagnostics Training Center. Daniel Jones, I mentioned the throw over Cordale Flott to Darius Slayton that put me in the danger zone today. But Daniel Jones had what was, for me, his best day of camp so far. He wasn't hesitant to throw the ball down the field, through the beautiful pass to Slayton that we talked about, threw a couple of beautiful deep balls to Malik Neighbors, threw a beautiful deep ball to Jalen Hyatt, threw a nice seam route to Chris Manhertz, threw another nice in cut that I remember to Jalen Hyatt, a ball that Hyatt made a nice play on because Dane Belton was also in position, and Hyatt used his body to shield the defender and make the catch. that maybe is a catch that Hyatt doesn't make a year ago, uh, when he was a little bit lighter, and a little bit less sure of himself. So good work all day from Daniel Jones. I think Nick Filato, who was there with me, I think had Jones as 7 of 10 during the 11-on-11 periods. Giants also did a 7-on-7 period for the first time in training camp. I think Nick had Jones as 7 of 9 during that period as well. So a good day for Daniel Jones. And, as I've said before, when he hasn't been great, we will note when he's good. We will note when he misses throws that he should make, as we have a couple times through camp. I wouldn't obsess about it either way. We pretty much know the kind of quarterback that Jones is at this point. He's not going to be a top 5 passer in the NFL. I continue to say that I think it's good that he's out there every day, that he's comfortable moving around. I don't think he had to scramble out of the pocket much today, which was a good sign in full pads as well. But he seems to be fine moving around. He's taking a full workload every day. To this point, the Giants haven't felt the need to dial him back, to give him any rest. He seems to be full go, and he seems to be handling it well. And the encouraging, performance thing today was that he did hit some of the deep balls, and that there wasn't any hesitation from Jones in letting the deep ball go. Which is always something that he's been criticized for in the past, for not being willing to to let it rip down the field. But shoot, he's got Malik Neighbors now. He's got Jalen Hyatt to throw the ball deep down the field to. He's got Darius Slayton to throw the ball deep down the field to. So he's got playmakers who can get open down the field, and he should be willing to let it go. And today he was, so that was a good sign. Had a chance to talk to Drew Phillips today, 3rd-round pick, cornerback out of Kentucky. And it was interesting because Phillips has been working mostly with the second team throughout training camp, same as he was in OTAs. Getting some reps, sprinkled in some reps with the first team, maybe a few more reps today than he'd been getting on some other days. But really interesting that he said, he was asked about how his comfort level is coming, whether the game has begun to slow down for him. Rookies have a lot to learn. There's a lot going on, from their personal lives to the playbook to getting used to the speed and the athleticism and the talent that they're going up against. And Phillips said for him, the game is still going really, really fast. He said it will slow down at some point. He knows it will slow down. But he said right now, things are going really, really fast. He's relying on his athleticism at times to to make some plays, but things are going really, really fast. There's a lot going on in his head. There's a lot going on just in terms of him, learning to handle the athleticism and the talent that he's going up against. So it really just an example of the fact that, these guys, these rookies, I mean, Malik Neighbors at this point looks like a star already, but not every one of these rookies is a 1st-round pick who goes in the top 10. There's an adjustment period. There's time that it takes to learn. Jalen Hyatt went through this a year ago. Hyatt is still disappointed with his rookie year. You can tell when you talk to him that he thought it was going to be different, but he only caught 23 balls last year, never got into the end zone. So it takes time for these guys to really understand, to really have a grasp on what the NFL is, to really learn the scheme, to really learn the playbook. And you can't expect each and every one of these rookies to simply hit the ground running and be what they will be at some point in their careers, from day one of their careers. That's why they say most analysts, most experts will say it takes 3 years to really judge what a draft class is, because by and large, it takes 3 years to really know what a player is going to be and what he is not going to be. And I also mentioned that in terms of the context that Tyler Nubin, second round pick out of Minnesota, the safety that the Giants drafted in the hopes that he would replace Xavier McKinney. Tyler Nubin hasn't practiced yet. He's still on the PUP list. Theo Johnson, tight end, fourth round pick out of Penn State, missed the first 3 practices of camp, came off the PUP list on Sunday. Johnson is getting work already with Daniel Jones and the first group. The Giants are rotating tight ends. Johnson's getting work. Daniel Bellinger's getting work. Chris Manhertz is getting work. Lawrence Cager is getting work with the first group. So don't know how all of that's going to shake out, but good to see that Theo Johnson is back on the field, and hopefully, cross your fingers, Tyler Nubin will be back soon, because these are valuable, important reps for these first year players. And the more that a player like Nubin misses, the more difficult it's going to be for him to be ready to be a contributor for the Giants in week 1 and early in the season. Fortunately for the Giants, Dane Belton, third-year safety who's been a backup player the last couple of years, is having a good training camp. Belton's a guy who seems to be a ball magnet, intercepted Daniel Jones the other day, and fortunately, he's having a good training camp. And if Nubin isn't ready, I think you could expect Belton to end up being the starting safety, at least early in the season. Giants will be back in pads on Tuesday. I will be back in East Rutherford for that practice. So please check out Big Blue View. Check out Nick Filato's practice report from today. Very detailed practice report, very in depth on a lot of even some of the small things, even some of the special teams matchups that we saw. So I think you guys will enjoy that. Check out the feature that I did today on Ryder Anderson, third-year defensive tackle who's been working with the first team, getting a big opportunity after a year that was sort of derailed by a triceps injury, and where he ended up on the practice squad all of the 2023 season. Got a chance to talk to Anderson briefly about that. So please check that out. Check out all of our coverage, our daily live updates from training camp, all of our news, features, and analysis as we cover camp and get you guys ready for the 2024 New York Giants season. All right, that's a quick update on practice today, and we'll be back tomorrow with more. So stay tuned for that. All right, thank you as always for listening. Please stay safe out there, take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.